Welcome back to the channel. Today I want to talk about Devastator builds for endgame expeditions. This build specifically I am using right here got me through my first tier 7 expedition, and if you've been watching my streams you know how just uncomfortable Devastator makes me in expeditions and how difficult it can be unless you've got really high-end gear high enough to absolutely obliterate on your level. I'm not saying that there aren't really good Devastators out there, but I am saying that Devastator does not compete on a solo basis for, you know, just pure damage and getting through expeditions. But this is the build that has got closest to it for me and put me through my first world tier 7 expedition. So first and foremost, we'll be using Endless Mass, we'll be using Golem, and we'll be using Gravity Leap. Now the Gravity Leap is interchangeable with anything you want, but the Gravity Leap I was using prior because of a perk that I realized may be bugged. So I have decided to change it at some point, but just right now I don't need to think about anything other than these two perks, the Golem and the Endless Mass. Let's look at the skill tree. So for the longest time I was going all the way down this top tree and it just was putting out incredible damage with guns, but just couldn't survive. I was an absolute monster. Think about like Trickster Twisted Rounds, except I could not survive. I would get absolutely obliterated in end rooms of expeditions. So you want to go down the health route first. So you go max health by 10%. I went with health regeneration, but you know, you could also comfortably use armor. I just feel that the health regeneration is just a little bit better in my opinion. More max health by 10%, and then we go into the fray. Increase your damage mitigation by 15% for 10 seconds after your kinetic skill ends. This is going to be with your Endless Mass. And then we go to Vim and Vigor. Increase weapon damage by 10% for each unlocked Anomaly in Veins class node, which is this one here. So you're going to get a little boost of 10% for your weapon damage, and that just replaces this one over here, which is 8%, and that's why it's probably better to go through this tree here. Then we move forward with Kinetic Cooldown, which is going to be obviously very useful for Endless Mass. Then we have Close Range Damage by 15%, and we have Shotgun Weapon Damage by 12%, and then we have more Shotgun Weapon damage. This is because this is a shotgun build. You're going to be right on top of people, you're going to be absolutely destroying them. Going forward, I went with armor piercing by 10%, weapon damage by 8%, and this one here, using protection skills, increases weapon damage by 45% for 10 seconds. So after you use your golem, you are going to get a massive boost in weapon damage. Then we move forward to critical damage, or you know, recoil of your weapon, but because I'm using shotgun close range, I just felt like critical, get those extra little critical shots by chance when I'm hip firing. And then we have increased weapon damage by 8%, close range weapon by 15%, and increased weapon damage by 8%. So you're just going to get a lot of damage here from close range. The shotguns are really going to work out nicely. Then I went with weapon leech by 5%, and then we have increased damage against elites by 15%, and they deal 15% less damage to you. If you're on top of elites trying to shotgun them, you kind of really need this perk. It's pivotal in this build. And then we have Bullet Storm, reload your weapon 20% faster, very good for automatic shotguns that take a while to reload. And then finally we have increase your magazine size by 50%. Now that's important for the sole reason that shotguns obviously have a small clip, but there are some mods which can change this too, which I'll show you. Now I used to go down this tree here and get to this perk, Altered Charge. When kinetic skills end, increase your weapon damage by 70% for 10 seconds. I believe this isn't working as intended, because when I do a few tests here and there, on average you get about a 10% increase in damage. So I decided not to go into this part of the skill tree and just go and take all of these instead to keep myself alive while still doing pretty good damage, as you'll see in the footage following this. Now for my weapons, I have an assault rifle here just for like cleanup or something if I ever do run out of bullets with the actual shotgun that I'm using. And I've got Life and Death. Killing shots create a blast that restores 33% of max health to players. Now I can use this to heal myself as well as you know, just having that cleanup weapon available. This is the shotgun that I'm using though. So shots inflict bleed on enemies is going to be important to the build, as you'll see. And I've just put Ultimate Storm Whip on it because I like the effects of it, but I'm pretty sure there's probably some better perks to put here, but I just absolutely love it. Now, let's look at the armors. First and foremost, I went with Tanner's Hat because it's just built for this build. Bonus firepower, close range damage, stare into the barrel, boost your firepower by 924 for each enemy in close range. When you're using Endless Mass and you're pulling hundreds of enemies in, not literally hundreds of enemies, but you understand what I mean, you're going to get that boost in firepower. And then it has shotgun weapon damage increased by 10% as well. So this is absolutely perfect for this build. I'm just a little bit sad that the armors are a little bit lower than, you know, some of the other ones that I have in my inventory, but we move forward with the chest piece. Now I went with the golem resistance perk, so you increase your resistances by 33%. I'm probably sure you could change it out for something else, but that's just what I use. And then I also have damage absorber, increases your armor by said amounts depending on your level, and resistances by 10%. That's just a passive buff, and obviously very useful for someone who's getting in close. You have more armor, take less damage. And then we move on to the legs. Endless Mass inflicts bleed on all enemies pulled by the skill. Bleed's obviously very important for this build too. And then we have Rejuvenation, which was locked on this pair of legs and I couldn't change it, but it's pretty decent. Receive X amount of firepower, X amount of anomaly power, and X amount of armor bonus for 8 seconds whenever your health is replenished. Now, because I'm playing Devastator, my close range kills regenerate my health. I'm going to be doing a lot of Endless Mass pulling and shotgun from close range, so this is all going to bounce off each other pretty nicely. And then we have another Endless Mass for increasing the weapon damage against affected enemies by 20% for 10 seconds. So when I pull all of those people in and I'm shotgunning them down as well, there are going to be a lot of damaging spray bullets all over their faces for 10 seconds. But I also wanted this mod, Vampiric Mag. Killing shots on enemies affected by bleed replenishes 50% of ammo in your magazine. So when you pull people in with this shotgun too, you'll be putting bleed onto them, but with the Endless Mass as well, you'll be putting bleed onto them. You'll be shotgunning them down and you'll be getting all of your bullets back in your magazine. Now you have to be sparing with this when you're not using Endless Mag, but it is an absolute beast of a way to keep going with a Devastator in close range, close quarters combat, and trying your best to absolutely annihilate everything. Then we have the boots. Endless Mass inflicts vulnerable on all enemies pulled in by the skill. I just threw this on for that extra little bit of damage. I believe you could probably swap that out for other things. And then I have extra bullet, increase your magazine size by 10%, because you know you want as much bullets in that clip as possible so that you can get the bleed locked onto enemies and then keep replenishing your ammo. Now the thing for me that I kind of don't like is that a lot of my gear is anomaly power. But I was just going for like the close range damage and other single perks that are there, like healing receive, cooldown reduction. But I think if you went like max health or bonus firepower, it would be even better of a build. Unfortunately, I just haven't been able to do expeditions enough to get massive amounts of armors to be able to kind of refine that aspect of my game. But this is a beast build, and I'm pretty sure there's going to be a lot of very skilled players who can take this and make it better. But I just wanted to upload a video of this because it was the very first build that I put together that got me through a world tier 7, and it was comfortable to get through as well. It wasn't that much of a struggle, so I wanted to share it with you. I'm going to leave the footage now of the entire expedition. If you want to check it out, you want to see how the game plays, how the guns work, or the shotgun I should say, you know, you could just see how goddamn badass it is. But anyway, hit a like button if you wish to, subscribe, blah 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 blah. Thank you for watching. I've been easynow. You guys have been awesome.
We've been detecting massive energy spikes.
damn it. More of them. Shira, there's an elevator in this lab.
Yeah, that matches our blueprints for the plant. The elevator should lead to the heart of the facility.
All I'm missing is some elevator music. Whatever that thing is, that's... Whoa. Shira, about those energy spikes? The insurgents had a functioning power cell down here.
What did you do with it?
It's disabled. I'll see if Zahidi can take a look at it. And I found a pod down here.
You saved some lives today, Outrider. I would expect nothing less from you.
Outrider detected. Access granted.
Oh, crap.